want me to put that on my Tudor?
Up yours, Harry's wife. Ah, the good old insult. Up yours. A particularly British insult, and a particularly British insult here as a consequence of it having been issued by King Charles towards Harry's wife. How so, I hear you ask? Well, it all revolves around one Katy Perry. It might be the case that the relationship between Katy Perry and Harry's wife has blown hot and cold, and you'd have thought that they would perhaps be good friends, seeing as they are both California girls. There's no teenage dream, of course, going on here, and I think Harry's wife would quite happily lodge a firework up Katy Perry's posterior and hear her roar. Unfortunately for Harry's wife, it's very much the case that she's the one that got away, because Katy Perry's behaved like a bit of a dark horse. How did this all come about? Well, let's just say that Harry's wife is unlikely to be taking daughter Lilibet to any of Katy Perry's concerts anytime soon. According to Soap Spoiler, whatever that is, there's a new report that suggests the Duchess of Sussex is holding a grudge against the pop star, and for a particular reason too. Whilst it appears that Prince Harry and Orlando Bloom are on friendly terms, the same can't be said about Harry's wife and Katy Perry. That's because Harry's wife apparently still can't forget how Katy shaded her about the wedding dress that she wore back during her royal wedding in 2018. Now, understand, Harry's wife doesn't sit there every day thinking to herself, that bloody Katy Perry, she dissed my wedding dress, I absolutely hate her. No, although Katy supposedly said that the fit of the dress could have been better, and that she would have personally done one more fitting, naturally issued challenge fuel towards Harry's wife at the time. What happens is that every time Katy Perry pops up on the radar, her narcissism is reminded of those remarks associated with her, with the fact that she remains painted black. Soap Spoiler, whatever that is, continues to tell us that one source close to the situation said, Orlando is very sympathetic towards Harry and Harry's wife and does reach out if he sees anything suspicious in the neighbourhood, what like Harry's wife creeping through the foliage with a telescope. However, Harry's wife is keenly aware of a comment that Katy Perry made in 2018 about her wedding dress, and is notorious for holding a grudge. The tipster added, while the comment wasn't meant to be hurtful, and of course remember, it isn't your intention that matters, but it's the perception that the narcissist has. Apparently, Harry's wife felt under siege at that time and was overwhelmed by arguments with staff, the Duchess of Cambridge and Thomas Markle. I would not expect to see Harry's wife and Katy carpooling to PTA meetings any time in the future. Of course, any royal fans and critics alike sure did have a lot to say about the matter on social media. We can see where Soap Spoiler market lies, don't we? Some have commented with, Harry's wife ain't thinking about no Katy Perry, her and her mum does yoga, they don't fill their minds with stress and mind pollution. Thanks for that. Along with, yawn, is Harry's wife so small that she can't overlook a random remark from 5 years ago? Don't think so. Well, indeed she can't, because her narcissism is reminded of it each and every time that Katy Perry comes up on her radar. So, of course, there is beef between these two. The remark that Katy Perry made was deemed a threat to control, and thus she's been painted black by Harry's wife, which is something, of course, that King Charles, or at least members of his staff, have utilised as a subtle way of saying, up yours, to Harry's wife. Because Kate Manzi of the Daily Mail explains that Katy Perry has been offered an overnight stay at Windsor Castle. Aye, aye, oi, oi, Savoy, what's going on here? King Charles, he got his eye on the Perry and he fancies some big bap action. Well, it's understood that Ms. Perry agreed to appear in the King's coronation concert because she wants to highlight her work as an ambassador of the British Asian Trust, a role to which she was appointed by the King in 2020. Ms. Perry will join a list of stars, which includes Take That, Lionel Richie, Andrew Bocelli, and Welsh bass baritone Sir Bryn Terfel, singer-songwriter Freya Ridings and classical soul artist Alexis French, performers will have their expenses covered, but it's not known if the acts receive an appearance fee on top. The show, produced by BBC Studios, the same organisers behind the Platinum Jubilee concert, will feature an eclectic mix of pop, rock and classical music, and will be beamed around the world with a spectacular light display. Of all the stars on the bill, Katy Perry is likely to be seen as the most high-profile globally. The singer first met the King at an event in Mumbai in 2019 when he was then Prince of Wales. The meeting was no doubt memorable for both of them because it was the first and probably the last time the King has ever asked anyone for a selfie. So it would appear that Charles was trying to use a little bit of the old subtle flattery with Miss Perry by asking for a selfie in order to assert control of her. Details of the picture request were revealed by the King's former aide, Scott Furstone Wood. Mr. Furstone Wood, who was Deputy Private Secretary to Charles, told the King how much his children loved Miss Perry's music. The King then stepped in and asked the singer to pose with his aide. Mr. Furstone Wood, who is now High Commissioner to Barbados and Eastern Caribbean, posted details of the encounter on Twitter saying, "Exciting that Katy Perry is performing at #coronation concert. I was with the King in Mumbai in 2019 when he first met her. I told him how much my kids loved her. Those within the team never asked for selfies, so HRH kindly asked for me. He and his family are such fans." Katy Perry has previously joined the King's two sons, Prince William and Harry, on their Heads Together mental health campaign, taking part in an awareness video. Since then, she has become closer to Harry, geographically at least. When the Duke and Duchess of Sussex moved to the celebrity enclave in Montecito, where found out that Katy Perry and her British fiancé Orlando Bloom are neighbours. Bloom voiced the part of Prince Harry in a controversial cartoon called The Prince. Bloom said that Harry was aware that he would be portraying his neighbour in the HBO Max programme, which is described by critics as a savage portrayal of the Duke. In an interview, Bloom said initially, "I was like, how do I feel about this? Because I'm a British boy who's very proud of my roots." He added of Harry, "This guy is so nice, and I think he's got a great sense of humour. I hope he maintains that throughout, because they're sort of on a pedestal. We're showing real adoration to them in one form or another." Katy Perry was previously known for having criticised the fitting of Harry's wife's wedding dress. Speaking about the royal wedding in 2018, she said, "I would have done one more fitting. I'm never going to not tell the truth. One more fitting. But I love you. Kate, Kate, Kate won, Kate won." So accordingly, Katy Perry is painted black, but the King has invited her to appear at the coronation concert, which she's going to do, and she's getting an overnight stay at Windsor Castle, which of course is a fantastic way of cocking a snook at Harry's wife, because one, it involves Katy Perry, who is on her shit list, and two, what was it that Harry's wife wanted? She wanted Windsor Castle for herself. She thought that's where they were going to live. She thought that she was going to move in and oust the Queen because she's so important. And when they found out that they were getting Frogmore, they were less than impressed. So by offering her an overnight stay at Windsor Castle, it's a very good way of triangulating Harry's wife with that and another win for the King. He asserts control indirectly over Harry's wife through this triangulation and knows that should Harry's wife be made aware of the fact that somebody on her shit list is getting a stay at Windsor Castle alongside appearing at the concert, it's likely to bring out another case of bruxism in Harry's wife. Once again, the King knows how to get to Harry's wife without doing something so obvious. But here, it's a subtle, up yours, Harry's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.